My name's Ron Wills, and this is the Big Idea podcast, powered by the National Association of Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. In this series, we're talking about things that hamper growth in small to mid-sized companies, and we've talked about a whole variety of things. Today's guest to talk about things that stymieing growth in her terrific company is Cindy Feldman, owner of Progression's Salon Spa Store. Cindy, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your company.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks for having me. I am Cindy Feldman, like you said, and I am the owner of an incredible organization and an incredible industry, the salon beauty industry. Progressions, we were born in 1984, 2,000 square feet. 10 years later, went to 4,000, 20 years, went to 9,000. So we're a 9,000 square foot facility right here on NABOE Street in Rockville. It certainly was a business that build it and they will come. And the way we went about that as a collective team is to create a culture similar to Starbucks as being the third place, and Progressions is that third place, because after 38 years you create some very deep relationships, and not only with one generation but with several generations, and that's what has really made up Progressions, is the depth of relationship and getting to know our clients and having them value who we are, what we do, and the passion that we have for our industry.
I'm fascinated with what you've built here. You've got a salon, spa, and a store. Can you explain how all three of those work together in your facility on Neville Street?
Sure. Well, when we started, it was Progression's hair design, and we were only hair. And so as life progresses and unfolds, and the beauty business as well is the same, it started to have branches of businesses within the business. So the salon is still, hair services are still very much the largest percentage of my business, but then spa came along, and then the consumer, it was really consumer driven, and asking for those types of services, spa services, and also then having professional brands that partnership with us, and they were environmentally conscious and still were sticking with the values of who we were as a brand, and could offer my team education. So it all kind of unfolded that way. So it did become Progression Salon, Spa, and Store.
And so today which drives the most revenue for your company of the three?
The salon.
The salon still.
Salon is still, the majority of my team are hairdressers. And then I have a separate spa area, which you leave the salon part and through doors, and you're in a different environment completely. The energy's different and quiet and peaceful, and a nail department as well. That's again to bring down the level of activity to just more zen feeling.
We're going to be talking about finding people that fit your culture. How many people work for you right now?
45. We have 45 team members.
Okay, so
that's the last time I counted. It could be more today. I know we've had a couple new hires just in this last week, but I try to keep it, the number pretty easy for me to remember.
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned that finding people that fit your culture is one of the things that holds back growth for you. Can you explain that a little bit, and maybe some of the things that you do to find people that fit your culture, and what are you looking for?
Yeah, well, my the culture here is very much, it sounds so cliche to say family, but we spend so much time in our workplace, at least this type of workplace. It's not something that can be done remotely, and so it's very much you're part of a group of people that have to all have the same values, the same, core values of what we stand for. And so having, integrity and teamwork and consistency and passion and respect for one another is not just add water and stir. You have to really, and a lot of my team have grown up here. And so one of the principles of me starting a business is that it was kind of like a life school, because in the 12 years that you go to school, not college, but no one teaches you how to have great relationships,
Right.
and what to do with your money. So those were the two very significant pieces of my business, that, finding people that were growth minded, because it's constantly a growth minded business. Progressions is, the word itself. It's a continual movement. So sometimes that just takes a more evolved person in their thinking, or maybe they didn't even know that that's what it was called that they wanted out of a workplace. But finding those matches, because again, it's not a add water and stir and you're, a six-figure, hairdresser. I have a ton of them that work here, but it was through discipline and consistency and training and continued training, and then continual training some more. So I reach out to different areas. I work with the schools in the area, even up to Frederick, down to DC, and continually are recruiting people, but I don't have a revolving door. So I'm really one of the the hire slow, fire fast, because you can really disrupt your culture having somebody that definitely doesn't fit in.
What is, it's such a growing topic amongst the small business owners that I work with all the time. Many of them, not all, but many of them are starting to really focus on this culture. They want certain people with certain attitudes. They've done all different kinds of ways of trying to identify those people. Are they going to be, one individual is a member of NABOE. She runs a company with about 300 employees, and she was telling me that they go through 39 interviews to get one person that fits their model. What kind?
That's really exceptional.
Yeah, and
time consuming, but at the end of the day, I do have a 3-interview process.
Okay.
And the first one is just meeting that person. If they are going to be it's kind of 4, but if they're going to be in a technical position, then they do a technical service, like they were, doing a client.
Okay.
And then we usually definitely have them do a shadow day, and that's a shadow day in all parts of the business. They might work for an hour up front. They might work as a support team. They might just shadow some of the service providers. They might work with my inventory manager, so that they get a real feel that this isn't just, we're helpful and need to be knowledgeable about every aspect.
And then everybody's working together to make it happen. There's always people behind the scenes that if you're front customer facing, sometimes you, as an employee, you might think that's where the world is. And it is, one of the most important places to be.
Correct.
But if you don't have that support staff backing you up with product, with other services and so forth, you really can't be as effective as you need to be competitive in today's world.
Correct. Every spoke of the wheel is important.
You know, when we were talking a little bit earlier before the podcast, you had talked about something that just I'm very passionate about, and that's the technical schools. And you know, I was telling you that I've got clients that talk about auto techs, and I've got people in the healthcare industry that are looking for tech schools that support, you know, caring of individuals, and, you know, below the nurse level, but there's just huge need out there for these types of things. Tell us a little bit, have you gotten involved in the tech type schools, and tell us a little bit about what you've done there?
Yes, actually, I am very involved with them. I was asked to be a president of the PAC committee in Montgomery County schools for the trades. And my specific lane, obviously, is the cosmetology. And really getting in the trenches with the students. But also, I think it's really important to know the parents, or to give them a view of what a technical background, and even if they do go to college, just having a cosmetology license, which is a professional license. I'm also on the board of the PBA, Professional Beauty Association, and I educate about that because a lot of our members don't even know what the PBA does. You know, it's so important to have an association that's an advocate on the Hill or in government affairs and deregulation and so many things that can easily happen to the industry. But the trade aspect of what is available, I believe, is one of our greatest resources to tap into for our future. And it really is about building the future. It's not a quick thing to, you know, it's a long-term, you know, plant the seed and have it grow.
Yeah, there's such a bias to go to a four-year university, and there's so many young men and women coming out of those universities and don't have jobs, and they don't have the skill set to get them a job in the marketplace. And to have this I'll just call it tech capability. You know, I've got, as I mentioned, I had the you know, auto technicians are in huge demand, and there needs to be more schools that train that. And I've got people that work with, you know, Montgomery College here and for their and really tap some of the top IT talent, you know, where you don't need the four-year degree, but you just, you know, you need somebody with the right culture, as you were saying, somebody who cares about supporting other people, you know, but has a good knowledge base. And so this is great. So we'll have future discussions on this, because I do think it's
a really broad subject of possibility.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Well, thank you for being on the
You're so welcome.
It's been
Thanks for having me.
And best of luck to you.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.